Hello, I'm here to introduce you to a new design for our saddle rider, cello, and bass endpin mounts. So instead of the flag that the first generation of mounts had, we now have a nut design where this nut attaches to the mount and screws tight and holds it firmly in the end block so that it can support against the downward push of an adjustable height saddle. These mounts you can use with the adjustable height saddle, or you can use them like a traditional endpin mount. Just put the tailgate around here, and we'll talk about how that all works. So the other feature of this new design is that they use shims. So you can basically fit one size in any type of double bass or cello. The cello model fits in any cello. And we have every imaginable size of shim available for download on our website. And you can either print them yourself at a local library or on your own 3D printer, or you can send them off for a mail order printing. We do include a shim with the unit, but this is if you want to resize it. For other instruments, you can make sure this will fit in any instrument, and you don't have to ream or mortise a block to do it. To talk about this a little bit, we'll talk about how to size the shim in another video, but basically it's very simple. You push it into the end block, take a pencil, trace how far it goes, pull it out, take any fine-tooth saw, hold it inverted in a table, go back and forth until you cut through the stuff. It cuts very smoothly and well. It's not at all prone to cracking. And then you can clean it up with a little bit of sandpaper to get the cut right to where the line is that you traced. And in the case of, now that's for any end pin, but in the case of the type that has this nut on the inside, there you'll have to make one more cut to make sure that it doesn't extend beyond the end block. You want to make sure that the upper edge goes maybe 3/16 of an inch or so inside the end block so that you can tighten firmly without the tip of the shim interfering with tightening of the nut. But that's a topic for another video. So, how do you get this nut inside the instrument? This was something that I scratched my head about for quite a while. What you do is, this is a patent pending nut, by the way. We did file a provisional patent on it recently. So what you do is you have the smooth side facing up, and you take one side of a string. We do include some string for this. This is Kevlar violin tailgut, actually, which is actually kite string, but it works great. It's tough stuff. And then take the other side and put it through. So line up the edges so that they're about the same length. Tie a little knot through here. You don't want to make it tight because you're going to be untying this knot in just a little bit too. So you do that, and then you take that and you feed it back through the hole like this. Now, what happens is you can put this through the F hole, you can pull it against the inside of the end block, and then you can tighten this on. Now, there's one other step you have to remember. You don't want this lower portion of the string on the ridges, or it'll get pinched between the end block and the nut. So you have to take that and twist it around till it's on the top, and then pull it firm. So that basically there's nothing, all the strings are on the top, there's nothing interfering with the ridges except what's in the middle, and that won't be touched against the end block. So then, how do you get it in? You take a piece of craft wire, or you can just use stiff tailgut string, but this is just very inexpensive, soft, little small gauge craft wire from an arts and crafts store. You can cut it with any household scissors, but you straighten it out. You have to go little by little to get it fairly straight. It doesn't need to be perfect, but then you feed it through the end block hole until you get it within visibility, whoops, I'm messing it up here, within visibility of one of the F holes, it doesn't matter which. Now, when you can see it through the F hole, then you take another short length of wire and you feed it through the F hole. You can feed it through and attach the hooks, pull it through the F hole, and then you've got this long, soft piece of wire going all the way through the end block. And so then you take this and you attach it to, just twist it once or so, maybe twice. And so then when you pull on the end, you can actually gently slip this through the F hole, pull it in, and pull the strings through the end block. Then you're going to untie the wire Then you have this coming out of the end block and the nut pressing against the inside of the bass or the cello. So you will have already sized this shim and it's going to be pressed into place. But then you take the mount and you slip the end of the string right through the mount and you pull it. And so then, even though this nut is on the inside and you don't have any contact with it, by pulling down here, the end of the mount is perfectly centered on the nut because you have a little bit of tension there. It just, the strings pull it right to the center, and then you start tightening it. When it's tightened 1 or 2 threads, then you loosen these, this knot here. You pull it out. That was a little tight because I had pinched the strings. But anyway, so you can pull that out, and then you can keep tightening it. So once you get it as tight as you want it to be, you want to make it pretty firm. So you wait till maybe there's contact and then go maybe another half a turn or so. You just make it as tight as you would want to insert, or just a regular end pin, nice and firm, but not so tight you're going to crack the end block or crack anything. So, but it's, you know, a snug fit. And then now one last step is that the thumb screw will almost certainly be facing the wrong way. It'll be a nice fit, perfect fit, but the thumb screw will be facing the wrong way. So what you do then, wherever it is, you loosen 2 complete rotations, and then when you push in, the nut will clear the end block and it'll rotate freely. So then when you position the thumb screw exactly where you want it, pull back down and tighten back up those 2 rotations. You'll get the thumb screw in exactly the right place and the firmness exactly right too. So it'll be just where you want it and just the right tightness. And then you can decide if you want to use it like a traditional end pin, where the tailgut would just wrap around the end pin mount like so. And you get a little extra security on this nut than you would in a traditional end pin mount, because that's a quite secure hold in there for putting bass wheels in or whatever. Or you can put on the saddle rider extension, and that allows you to use this tool to change the height of the saddle. You can raise it or lower it, and that changes the downforce of the strings on the bridge and changes the sound in the same way a higher or lower bridge would do it. So once you've done that and you find that you've got it at the right spot where there's a range, what you can do is you don't want the bolt to be sticking out too far. You could bump against something. What you can do, if you like, is you can remove this again, cut off the end with a hacksaw, just leaving however much adjustability you want. File the thread smooth so it doesn't interfere with putting it on or off of the bolt. And then put this little rubber cap back on. Include an extra rubber cap. The easiest way to cut those to size is just with a regular household scissors. You'll be tempted to do it with a razor blade, but that's actually hard to get a straight line. And just a sharp scissors works the best. So that's how all of this works. There's a little bit of grease. It's a good idea to put a little dab of silicone grease on this from time to time to keep it working really smoothly in case rosin dust or whatever gets in there. But you can just leave this adjustable saddle on all the time, or some people like to find what height they want and then remove it and put just a wooden saddle at that height. It helps them gauge exactly what they want to do with a wooden saddle. But one of the main ideas behind this is that it'll help you adjust when you're traveling. When the weather changes, you can make adjustments on the fly that are very helpful. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call at the contact information below or on our website. And hope you get years of happy use out of this. Please let us know how it turns out.